what are some of your top favorite memories?
It's almost like a fraternity house, a bunch of guys hanging out and maybe having a couple of beers. Dual sport, assistant football, assistant baseball. So that's what I did for my first 5 years. And he reached out to shake my hand with a smile, and his smile went away. How do you build confidence? How do you deal with fear of failure? I might go down to the courthouse and get my name changed from Chris to Skip.
Okay, welcome to the first episode of Inside the Herd. I'm Ella, and I'm so excited to kick this off. Today we have a legend with us here. He's a Colorado native, and he went to Roaring Fork High School where he played football and baseball. From there, he got drafted but decided to go to College of Southern Idaho. He became a two-time All-American. He hit 48 home runs in his 2 years there and also led the country in home runs with 26 his freshman season. After his college career, he got drafted by the Boston Red Sox, where he played there for 4 years and then spent a year with the Detroit Tigers. After that, he came to Mesa, got his bachelor's degree, and began his coaching career in both baseball and a little bit in football. And now he's entering his 34th year coaching and 28th year as the head coach for the Mavericks baseball team. So please welcome Coach Chris Hanks. We are so excited to have you here today. Just with your legacy here at Mesa, I mean, you've outlasted like 5 different presidents here. You've just been through so much change, and so I'm excited to get into your journey.
Yeah, you bet. I'm happy to be here.
So we're just going to start off with a couple of icebreaker questions.
Mm-hmm.
So what was the first concert you ever went to?
Beach Boys, Houston Astrodome,
Ooh.
1986.
Ah, that's amazing. I saw them twice here at Las Colonias. Have you been to those ones yet?
Beach Boys?
Yeah.
I have not. I didn't know they came here.
Yeah, there's like 2 of them that are still alive or something. And anyways, they came here twice. They're really good.
Yep.
Okay, sweet or salty snacks? Which one do you prefer?
Salty.
Okay. And what is your favorite Winter Olympic sport that's going on right now?
Hockey.
Ooh, same. Awesome. Okay, so we'll get into it. The first question I want to ask is, we hear your name a lot. We hear people call you Skip a lot. Where did that nickname come from?
Well, it's just more or less, it's a baseball-specific term that a manager is often referred to or known as the skipper.
Okay.
The skipper of the ship, so to speak. So it's not unique to me. Many managers or head coaches have been referred to as the skipper or Skip for short.
Okay, that makes sense. Like, why is Skip? Is it like a term for something, or just?
I think just in the world of ships, the captain is referred to as the skipper. So the manager is the captain of the ship, so to speak, if you view that as the team. And my college coach, his name's Jim Walker. We referred to him as Skip.
Okay.
And the old famous coach at LSU, who's now retired, was Skip Bertman. And so, as I mentioned, it's not necessarily unique, but it is for me a term of endearment. I've told my mother several times that I might go down to the courthouse and get my name changed from Chris to Skip, because I hear it more than my real name, and she threatened me not to do that, so I probably won't.
That makes sense. I love it. Okay, so just going into your 34 years here at Mesa, what are some challenges that you face and how have you overcome those? And then also just get into how you've just saw the vision for what Mesa baseball could be and Mesa athletics in general, and just how you've stuck with that throughout this time.
Yeah, well, I'd say some of the struggles over the years have been the same struggles that a lot of smaller schools endure. Things have gotten much better here. When I got here, when I got the head baseball job, we had 3.4 scholarships. We're allowed 9 in Division II baseball, but we only had 3.4. That was back in 1999. Over the years, we've raised a lot of money. We've had alumni and donors give to our scholarship endowment. We had an AD along the way, Tom Spicer, who increased us by 2. So right now we sit relatively at or close to 9 on every year. So that affords us the opportunity to better identify and attract a higher level kid, not only player, but person, student athlete, that fits our culture, what we want, what our makeup is. So, but those challenges are ongoing. We continue to raise money. You know, we have to fundraise a lot of money. That's no different in our program than it is for the other sports here at CMU. And largely that's part of Division II athletics across the country. It's different. And quite honestly, a lot of the mid-major Division I's are in a similar boat. It's really only the ones that, you know, have the biggest brand names that are in the quote-unquote Power 4 level,
Right.
that have the TV deals and have more money than they need. So, you know, that's a battle. I'd say recruiting to Western Colorado, we're not necessarily, for any sport, in the hotbed of recruiting from the standpoint of being in a metropolitan area.
Yeah.
You know, I spent 2 weeks down in Atlanta, Georgia this summer recruiting at a couple of events, and you know, you get down there and everything's so compact and dense, the population is larger. Just the volume of athletes in a small, relatively small area is just mind-boggling compared to what we have access to here. So, not just us, but the coaches of all sports, I mean, to recruit, we have to travel and we have to spend time away from home. I have a lot of coaching friends that are, say, in Southern California, and they can leave their office, go watch a kid pitch at 2 o'clock, watch him throw 3 innings and be back in the office by 4:30.
Right.
We just can't do that. So that's a challenge. For our sport, we're still considered a cold climate, although we're not as cold as Michigan and the upper Midwest, places like that. But when you're recruiting an athlete that plays a sport that's largely known as a warm weather sport, you know, the Sun Belt states and those schools have a distinct advantage. They can train earlier. They don't have the weather problems. They have better access to kids. So we recognize that all those exist, but we largely ignore them and we go get our guys.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. Even with like our beach volleyball team here and everything like that, like has to be so hard to get people to want to play here, especially when you're like shoveling snow off of the ground and
Absolutely.
right before practice. And yeah,
Yeah.
that makes sense. Well, let's go back into your JUCO years. You came here for the JUCO World Series.
Yep.
Was that once or twice?
Once.
Once, okay. Yeah, just walk me through that decision because you got drafted out of high school, but then you decided to continue on with education and baseball in college. Walk me through that decision, like why you decided to go that route, and just how you were confident in that process.
Well, I grew up watching the Junior College World Series. I grew up 100 miles from here, and my dad and we'd come down and watch the JUCO tournament when I was elementary, middle school, high school, and back in those days, they had a thing called a draft and follow with the MLB draft. It doesn't exist anymore. And what that meant was when you were drafted, the organization would keep your rights for 1 calendar year, meaning that you could sign at any point during that time. So I was looking at the Arizona schools, Arizona State, University of Arizona. I had official visits there. I went on visits, but then I got drafted. And if you go to a 4-year school, and this still holds true, you're not draft eligible until after your junior year. If you go to a junior college, you're draftable every year.
Okay.
And that gave me the opportunity going to the junior college. Once I was drafted, I decided let's go the junior college route because I wanted to get playing as soon as I could.
Yeah.
Go to college for a year. I could sign at the end of that year if I so choose with Boston and not have to go into the draft again. Which didn't occur. I didn't sign. I got drafted again. And really that's what drove the decision, the junior college route. I was a good enough student to go to 4-year schools and all that, but it was really how Major League Baseball and the draft was set up at the time.
Gotcha. Okay, that makes sense, yeah. Can you just talk a little bit about the JUCO World Series and you getting MVP there and all the honors from that?
Well, you know, as I said, I grew up going to it, and my freshman year we got eliminated a game short of making it. I remember how crushed I was. I wanted to go home, play in front of family, but my sophomore year, we actually didn't have as good of a team. But we had, I think, a total of 4 kids from the western slope of Colorado that
Really?
played on that team at the College of Southern Idaho. Well, that team, and I think that, all four of those guys played and were factors on the team. And I think just that little extra drive of wanting to get home and play at home got us over the hump. And what we got here was amazing. We were the tournament favorite in terms of we had the hometown kids on the team, and that didn't really happen that often. And as it turned out, we made quite a run, and we got eliminated in the ninth inning by San Jacinto, Texas, in the national semifinal.
Wow.
And we almost made it to the title game. Got just a little short,
Man.
but it was a great experience
Yeah.
coming home.
That is so cool. Jared showed me a little video of you playing in it. Video of you, I think, getting a single base or something like that. But it was pretty sweet to see even Simplicio back in the day then, and just how much that's even changed.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It was different
Yeah.
then. It didn't have the big tower, and the old football stands would hang over and
Yeah,
create
exactly.
shade for the baseball stands. It was really a nostalgic look back then.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. That's
Yeah.
awesome. Okay, so from there, you get drafted by the Boston Red Sox. I hear that you have a pretty funny story about also like going to Oklahoma State and getting recruited from them in the midst of all of that.
Yeah, that my sophomore year, I had in April, I had gone on a visit to Oklahoma State, and at the time, Oklahoma State was really at the top of college baseball. They were one of the most well known and had been doing the best. They had a legendary coach named Gary Ward, and I went on a visit. I loved it. I got back. I signed the national letter of intent. I'm going to Oklahoma State. But as I mentioned to you earlier, I was still Boston had redrafted me, so they still had rights to me.
Okay.
So, I mean, I was, I had been through a couple of shoulder surgeries. My arm wasn't all the way healthy yet. I thought it would be better to go to college. They had me. We're going to have me all set up on rehab at Oklahoma State and these things. As we got to the end of the year, though, my arm started feeling better, and I started feeling more prepared. And we had this exciting tournament. I was the MVP, and I was playing really well. And Boston was there. They had come to Grand Junction, and we met at the old Holiday Inn. Now it's the Clarion out on Horizon Drive.
Okay.
And they offered me a contract and a nice signing bonus for the time. And they said, we've drafted you twice. Don't know if we'll draft you again. And I was excited. I was ready. And I signed the contract to play pro baseball. But what I failed to do was let Oklahoma State know what I was doing. So after I did that, I had to make the call.
Oh, no.
And let me tell you, I got my head ripped off on the telephone. They let me have it. They were so upset that I had done that, and it couldn't be undone.
Yeah.
So, I had to take that butt chewing over the phone, and that was it. And then I went on and played. But it's funny because all these years later as a coach, I understand why they were so upset.
Right.
And I was a 20-year-old kid. I suppose I didn't have anybody say, you got to call Coach Ward in Oklahoma State, and let him know what's going on. And because I didn't even give them a chance to talk me out of it.
Right.
So that's water under the bridge. And all those years later, though, and I want to say close to 20 years later, I'm out recruiting in Arizona at an event in the fall. And that legendary coach, Gary Ward, was now an assistant at New Mexico State. His son, Rocky Ward, was the head coach. And he was just finishing out, helping his son coach. And I got caught in a conversation with a group of coaches, and there's Gary Ward. And somebody goes, Coach Ward, this is Chris Hanks. And he reached out to shake my hand with a smile, and his smile went away.
Oh, no.
And he shook my hand, and he remembered.
And he held that grudge, too.
And I said, Coach, man, I'm sorry. I was a young, dumb 20-year-old. He goes, water under the bridge. But I saw his reaction change.
Yeah.
And I mean, I think that's how passionate coaches are, that the time we spend with these players, the time recruiting, and it's fundraising, it's cold days at practice early in the year, it's long bus trips, it's, in any business there are problems. And you're very passionate, and at the end of the day, every weekend you get tested, and it's a public test, and you either pass or you don't, you win or you lose, you get judged. There's a lot that goes into it, so I do understand that passion.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, let's go into a little bit with your time with the Boston Red Sox and Detroit Tigers. Just what are some of your like top favorite memories from that?
I guess just playing at that level and with the competition and the people you meet, I would be lying if I said it was easy. I would be lying if I said it was fun. It was a grind. It was tough. You find out real quickly that you're just a number in the cog of their machine, and you're very disposable. So, there isn't the camaraderie or the care given that is given in the collegiate setting. It's a business. It's a very cold business. I think possibly it's a little better now, but truthfully, it's dog eat dog. And you're playing with guys that are all scratching and fighting for the same thing. And, it's on some level hard to be great teammates with guys at your position that are trying to take your job and your opportunity to make it to the major leagues. And so what I did get from it was I learned a lot. I learned a lot about life. I learned a lot about coaching from the standpoint of if I ever coached, which I thought I would. I know exactly what I wouldn't do.
Yeah.
I got a lot of those answers. I learned a lot about some beliefs on how you treat people because I didn't witness that organization at that time treating people very well. That's my recollection. You're a commodity. You're a puzzle piece, and I think that even at that level in that business, there can be a different way to do that. But it's really the people I met. A guy named Tim Naring was one of my roommates the first year we were in the same draft class. He's the assistant general manager for the Yankees right now.
Cool.
My other teammate, same draft class, another catcher, John Flaherty. He's the color guy on the Yes Network for the Yankees right now.
Wow.
I can turn on the TV in the summer and he'll be doing color commentary. And a great experience. Ted Williams was one of my minor league hitting coaches, and Ted Williams is largely known as the best hitter of all time.
Yeah.
He's still the only major league player to hit 400 in a season.
Wow.
And Carl Yastrzemski, another Hall of Fame player, was a minor league hitting instructor for us. So those experiences helped shape me as a coach and some of my philosophies.
Okay, I love that. Talking about your roommates, I heard that like the living situation is not all sunshine and rainbows like some might think in the major leagues. And
well, I was in the minor leagues, so I didn't make it. Yeah, the minor leagues, it's tough.
Yeah.
It's tough.
Rough to have that.
They kind of dump you out on the street. You're not making a ton of money monthly, and you can get an apartment all set up and you're paying the rent, and 2 days later they say we're moving you to a new team. One year I had to drive from Winter Haven, Florida up to Lynchburg, Virginia. One year was from Winter Haven, Florida up to Elmira, New York.
Oh my goodness.
And really they say you're moving, and if you don't have a car, they put you on a plane basically the next day. We're sending you to that club. I had a car those 2 years, so they give you about 48 hours to get there. And
wow.
You show up and they give you your uniform. They say, let's go. And the living arrangements in minor league baseball are a lot better now. For the most part, they've adopted at least at the lower levels, the host family setup. So like even when the Grand Junction Rockies were still here, they put those boys with host families. Well, we didn't have that. Okay. We had to go out, and I remember one time in Elmira, New York, me and a teammate found a rental, and it was really dirty. And then we paid a deposit, but then we found a better place, and we couldn't get our deposit back, even though we hadn't moved a thing in there. The landlord was upset. And so now we are already, you're 20, 21, you don't have a lot of money. The organization's not they aren't helping you find these places. And we play that night. So they put you in a hotel for a little while, and then after, they give you about a week to find a place to live. And after that, if you're staying in the hotel, you're paying the room rate. So yeah, there's a lot of situations. My first summer, we had 7 players living in an old Victorian house.
Wow.
With a retired, I think he was like a Baptist minister. And they had all these rooms. And I was the last guy to arrive. And they kind of shoehorned me in there. I was at the very top of this big house with east-facing windows, no curtains. It wasn't really, it was more of a closet than a room. There was enough room for a single bed, and running across the roof was this water pipe, a metal water pipe. So I went and got hangers, and I just hung all my clothes on this water pipe. And when the water would run, you'd hear the water go through it. And then I got, like a milk crate to put socks in and things like that. But I remember the sun coming up in the morning, and in upstate New York, it's very humid in the summertime. And that sun would come through the window. There was no air conditioning, and just waking up sweating. And so I did the old get the tin foil and put it on the windows,
Yeah.
but there still wasn't air conditioning. That was living in the minor leagues right
crazy.
there.
It's like Harry Potter style almost.
Yeah, and after the game, a bunch of guys, almost like a fraternity house, a bunch of guys hanging out and maybe having a couple of beers. You're not going to play till 6 o'clock the next night.
Yeah.
So that's kind of life in the minor leagues.
That is wild. My goodness. Okay, so after in the minor leagues, you come to Mesa. And I don't know if a lot of people know this about you, but you also coached football here for a little bit while you also helped coach baseball. What was that chapter like for you?
Well, I came from a football family. My dad was my high school coach. He was a college and high school football coach for 32 years. I always thought, I knew I wanted to coach. I thought that I might want to coach football. And actually during 2 of the off seasons when I was playing baseball, when I didn't play winter ball, I volunteered at a local high school to see if I would like coaching football, and I did. And it just, as it timed out, when I was released from baseball, I had just finished my degree, and a job here at CMU, Mesa State at the time, opened up, and it was a new position, dual sport, assistant football, assistant baseball. So that's what I did for my first 5 years, and I really enjoyed that. What some of my friends and people don't know is what also came with that job. I was in charge of the laundry and towel service.
Fun.
So I had to hire the work-study kids to wash the towels and hand them out to the PE classes and the students that, so that's how you get your start.
Okay. Wow. That's awesome. And then recently I've heard that you have sparked an interest in motivational speaking.
Mm-hmm.
What brought that up in you, and what are some next steps looking like for you?
Well, I've always been profoundly interested in leadership and leadership development, team building. I like speaking. I like helping people. And I think that I'm at a point in my career where, I've been down this road a lot of times, and it's the same road. There's fall ball, there's recruiting, there's early spring when you're cold like now, there's the spring season, and I really enjoyed it, and I'm not ready to stop coaching. But the only people I get to help are the guys on my team, which I cherish and I love and I enjoy. But I'd like to branch out. I think that I'd like to help some business people. I'd like to help some other entities, whether it be teams or businesses or organizations, on leadership development, on maybe how to build some sustainable success. I've always had a passion for that. I tell people when I was 12 years old, and I can't remember where I came across it, but through the mail, I ordered a program called The Making of a Champion.
Okay.
And it was this plastic book that snapped open, and there were 10 cassette tapes on leadership and how to be a champion. And there was a workbook, and you put the tape in the tape recorder, you read along, you did the workbooks. And so I was interested in this sort of thing from an early time. At that time, it was just for myself. Since my playing days ended, obviously taken an interest in coaching, developing teams, and that's what my truest passion is developing people, developing teams.
Yeah, I can totally see that. I mean, like, even after last week with my conversation with you and after your graduation speech, like, I left totally inspired, and so you have a natural gift for that.
Well, good.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what you do and everything in the
Yeah, we're
future.
just getting started, trying to just dabble in it on the side. It in no way affects what I do here. I think it adds to it.
Yeah, I was going to say, I bet it just builds your program even further.
Yeah, and it keeps me studying and seeking answers to, questions, especially in the competitive world, like how do you deal with fear of failure? It's a real thing.
Yeah.
How do you build confidence? That's just two little things, but those things drive me in trying to solve those issues to help others conquer those.
Yeah, that's so good. I mean, yeah, even when I was like asking you just about your program, and you're like, well, you could apply this to this situation, and you have this family, and or like in this workplace, and so it was just, yeah, such a good conversation. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining us here and for being our guinea pig on this episode.
All right.
Yeah.
And what are we calling this?
The Inside the Herd.
Inside the Herd. That's a good
Inside the
name.
Herd. Thank you.